Yes, like I said, everybody should have the 4 documents sent to you by either Mustafa or Hakan, depending on which class you're coming to me from. So I just want to go over those. Feel free to raise your hand or say, excuse me, if you have any questions. And then at the end, I will take any questions that you might have at the end. So you can either ask me a question as we go along or save them for the end. So let me start by sharing the the competition overview. So we're talking about the Bacha Shehir English Speaking Tournament, BEST. And it's basically a speaking organization, a speaking contest organized and sponsored by National Geographic and UNITAR, which is the United Nations Institute for Training and Research. So this is a big deal. Anytime you hear somebody like Nat Geo is involved, that's pretty cool, I think. So I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are too. Basically, you're going to record a 3 to 5 minute speech. You're going to make a video of yourself giving a speech. And the competition's theme is embracing innovation to achieve sustainability. So what does that mean exactly? Embracing means like accepting, innovation, like new ways of doing something, to achieve sustainability. And sustainability would be like long-term ability to do something. So embracing new ways of finding, for example, better ways to use energy. Okay, so that's just one example. We'll get into the examples later, but that's the overall theme. Okay, and I'm not going to read this line by line. You can. Oh, I have people in the waiting room. I'm not going to read this line by line. You should have copies of this. If you don't, let someone know. Let your IS teacher know. And your videos are due on Friday. Again, it's 3 to 5 minute speech. And there's only going to be one winner from this region, from the Black Sea region. And if you are lucky and good enough, if you make a good enough video to win, you will go on to the finals. So there's just 2 rounds. And the prizes, which I think are kind of secondary to the prestige or the good feeling you'll get. I mean, of course, everybody likes prizes. Like you'll get a power bank and a Nat Geo mug, which will be cool. And then if you make it past the first round, you'll get that. Plus, you'll get a subscription to Nat Geo. And if you're lucky, fortunate enough to win, good enough to win, you'll get a GoPro Hero 7, which is awesome. I know my friend had me bring him one of those back from the States because they are really expensive, not just in Turkey, especially in Turkey, but they're really cool. So, but at the same time, if that doesn't motivate you, just those prizes, just the recognition, right? So to do something that really matters and something that you'll get notoriety and recognition from is another good reason to be motivated as well. So the rules, the requirements, the technical details, look at these. I'll go over a couple of these. So you're not to be reading from your notes, okay? So you're going to want to practice your speech as much as you possibly can. I mean, you can glance at your notes, but you're not going to sit there and read it. Okay. Eye contact is really important. If possible, do it without notes. They want you to have your entire upper torso. So like from your head to like the middle of your chest and your hands and your arms, that should be visible. They don't just want your face in the video. I'm not 100% sure why, but that's how they want it. And it's got to be clear and understandable. The visual must be understandable. And then you're not to use any PowerPoints or any visuals. And those are the most important things, I think, for just the ground rules. Now let's get into, are there any questions as far as the ground rules go before I move on to like the topics that you have to choose from? Any questions? Oh, there are people in the waiting room again. Okay.
Actually, I have a question.
Yes, please. Who is that?
Are there any dressing code like we have to film this with a suit?
I don't see that on here, but I think that would be a good idea. Was that Dilata?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I mean, I don't think it's required, but certainly looking nice would, I think, help just your overall appearance for the video, okay?
Okay.
Good question. Anybody else on the ground rules? Okay. Moving on to the speech prompts, which is the second most important thing here, I think. Well, it's just as important as the other stuff. Yes, owner is waiting. Let me let him in. Okay, I'm trying to let him in. There we go. Okay, so each BEST participant should choose and respond to one of the following prompts. So you're going to pick one, which are aligned, so similar with the UN Sustainable Developmental Goals. Okay. Students should take a position on the topic covered in the chosen prompt and design and make their speeches accordingly. In all cases, students should attempt to make a connection to the BEST theme, which is embracing innovation to achieve sustainability. Again, there's that theme of this year. The goal of each speech should be to raise public awareness about the targeted SDG, which is a sustainable development goal, okay, while also offering innovative ideas for sustainable solutions in this area. So this part is really important. All students should attempt to make a connection to the theme, okay, and your goal is to raise public awareness while also offering innovative ideas for sustainable solutions in this area. Okay. Some more details about the speech. Should have a clear introduction, body, and conclusion, just like any good speech. And I have a couple resources to share with all of you, a couple of things like good ways to start a speech, good ways to end a speech, because those are the two things that people remember the most, how you began your speech and how you ended it. The idea is to grab the attention of the listeners, and then you're going to present the main point, argument, thesis. And it says, don't forget to state your sources. So that just kind of means whenever you're talking, if you state a research fact, or if you talk about something like a statistic, you can say according to the World Health Organization. Okay, it doesn't have to, you don't have to at the end list your sources, but if you have a fact or something, it helps to give credibility to your speech if you say where you got that information. And then, yeah, this conclusion should sum up the speech and leave the listener with something to think about. Again, I have some information on how to do a good opener and closer. Okay, so after all that, we can talk about the speech prompts, which my recommendation to you is to look through them, and whichever one jumps out at you, whichever one you feel a connection with, that's the one you should choose, because that's the one you're going to be the most passionate about. That's going to be the one that you are going to be able to deliver the most realistic speech on. So I'm just going to read the goals, and you can look at the quotes later if that's the one that you decide to go with. So goal 1, no poverty. Goal 2, zero hunger. Good health and well-being. Quality education. Gender equality. Clean water and sanitation. Affordable and clean energy. Decent work and economic growth. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Reduced inequality. Sustainable cities and communities. Responsible consumption and production. Climate action. Life below water. Life on land. Peace and justice. Strong institutions. Partnerships to achieve the goal. Okay, so after you see one, if you're really passionate about climate action, read the prompt, okay, at the 2019 World Economic Forum. Just, this is an example. In Davos, Greta Thunberg said, I want you to act as if the house is on fire because it is. What does she mean by this, and to what extent do you agree? Just use that as a jumping off point, okay? Use that as a way to kind of form your speech. You don't have to say, specifically respond to that, but just incorporate it into your speech somehow. And if you notice, I clicked on that, and you can, let me see if I can zoom in on this. I'm sure I can, but here we go.
Teacher, it's too long.
Okay.
After the session, can you make a summary about it?
Well, okay, so this is just basically, this is just choose a topic, okay? I'll make it more simple. Thank you for your input too. If you, hold on, somebody's in the waiting room. Pick a topic, okay, Sarah, and then go from there, okay? I'm going into all the details, and read it, and then see what questions you have after, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so basically, just if I had to sum it up, 3 to 5 minute video, and you choose one of these things. Now you can get more, one of these prompts. You can get more information on the one that you choose by clicking on it. And then if you thought before there was too much information, just check out the rubric. You don't have to read all this, but it's just, I would say, look at this part, the part that they're going to be grading you on. Okay, so once you start to put together your speech, look at these and say, okay, yeah, I think there is a good flow to my speech. I think the ideas are ordered. I think I have good volume. You know, just have this as like a double checking thing, okay? And if I haven't said this yet, this is optional. So those of you who want to do it, I think it would be great, and we're here to help you. Not only myself, but Mustafa and Hakan, those of you who are coming from FenTech 9. But yeah, are there any questions? I'm sorry if I made that a little more, seem more complicated than it is. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay. I will share with you openers and closers. Let's see, for a good speech. So just a quick example is asking a rhetorical question. So if you're doing climate change, for example, you could say, imagine yourself in a desert. You can't find water for miles. This could be your reality if we continue with the way that we are now. using up the fossil fuels, whatnot. Is that a future that you would like to live in? That's a rhetorical question. That's a good way to grab the attention of the audience. Okay, let me see. Where did I put those? They are on my, okay, it must be in downloads. They're just two things I want to share with you. Anybody who has any questions, you can type them in the chat box while I'm looking for this. There we go. Oops, I just sent that to Selim privately. Okay, hold on. Okay, so the two files I've uploaded to the chat here, download those. Those are just tips for how to start or for how to
I
close
think they
a speech.
sent them to us.
I think this might be something different. Because this was actually just a picture. This is from one of my books that we use in my FenTech classes. Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. And if you have any questions, you know how to contact me. You know how to contact Mustafa. You know how to contact Hakan Teacher. And for now, are there any questions I could answer? All right, well, good luck. I know that you all can do it. I know somebody in here can win this from the Black Sea region and make everybody, especially yourself, proud. So I'll talk to you guys soon. And is the date of the competition clear? So Friday, they're due on Friday. The videos are due on Friday. And then I think a couple of days after that, 2 or 3 days after that, is when the second round is. But all the information is on these documents. And I will talk to all of you soon. I'll see some of you in class soon. And take care until then. Thanks for joining. Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.
See ya.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Thank you all very much. See ya.